Hello and welcome everyone. My name is Riyadh Trabelsi. I'm pleased to present to you today the Security Intelligence Easy. The purpose of this demo is to cover two main areas basically. First of all is the Juniper Spotlight Secure Threat Intelligence Platform, which is essentially a framework that dynamically delivers threat intelligence to the SRX firewall and provides timely protection against evolving threats. The second area is the power of Genus automation using language like Python to complete a task and make the job of the engineers much easier. Okay, so on high level, what is the security intelligence? Security intelligence is command and control blocking, as simple as that. Infected devices try to connect to a unknown command and control server on the internet. The SRX mitigates the traffic based on the real-time feed known as command and control IP and URL from the Spotlight cloud. The feed data is dynamically loaded and it does not require any commit or configuration change. Juniper is basically committed to delivering a focused threat intelligence command and control botnet. We utilize a variety of threat data sources and techniques to ensure intelligence is current and actionable. All data sources are carefully evaluated by Juniper Threat Research Team. We consolidate the data, we weed out the false positive, we add normalized threat scores, and we prioritize based on current threat landscape. So Juniper threat feeds are designed to maximize the enforcement point resources. Policy can be fine-tuned using threat scores, threat changed often, so fresh all data resource at regular intervals. Spotlight Secure ensure the data is fresh and actionable. The automation piece of this demo is actually a Python script, and that Python script is built based on API calls. So what that Python scripts do is actually push a policy and profile to the security director to connector, and events from the API based source are pushed to connector. The SRX request update from the connector at regular interval. The connector requests data from the Spotlight Secure. Connector requests data from a custom black and white list sources. And the security director manages SRX over its own channel. Alright, so let's dive into the topology. As you can see here on the screen, this is Juniper JCL, Juniper Cloud Lab. So what I have here in my Cloud Lab is components. Those components are a couple of CentOS, Space Security Director, JSA, known as a Storm in the past for reporting capability, and the Spotlight Secure Connector. There is a firewall in the JCL, and as long as as soon as I make a reservation, there is a firewall policy script that pushed to configure all the policy needed to allow communication between the JCL firewall and over the internet to my home lab here. In my home lab here, I have an SRX240H2, and I also have a thumb drive. The thumb drive comprises of the configuration, the auto install, and the Genus code. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you my firewall. I'm going to go ahead and actually zeroize and default to the factory, and there is nothing on the SRX. You will see there is nothing on the SRX as far as configuration is concerned. Basically the idea is plug in the SRX, the thumb drive, into the SRX, and the automation will kick off, and all the process that we talked about will be all automated via Python script. And then at the end of the automation, we will see, I will show you in the firewall all the addresses and the feed that we were getting from the security intelligence. and how we are blocking them in real time in the forwarding plane on the SRXs. So I'm gonna pull up my SRXs 240 here. I'm gonna pull up my secure CRT. This is my SRX 240. I did show chassis hardware, and you can see I have a 240H2 box here in my home lab, and I'm gonna default it. The factory default what is not configuration. Load factory default. Hit on enter. And what I'm gonna do is also request system zeroized. So there is nothing there. I'm gonna put yes here, and I'm gonna commit. Of course, it's gonna ask me for the root authentication. I will do is system root authentication text. I'm gonna give it a password. I'm gonna commit and quit. So after the system was defaulted to the factory and the initiate system zeroized, the system came back, and well, requires a reboot, so it just came back up. And if I look at the configuration here, just a quick, actually there is nothing in there. Boot it up to the CLI, to the shell, to CLI to get back to the normal operation. Okay, so back to the root. If I do show configuration, no more. And of course, there is just the default, nothing else. All right. So that looks good. So next step. So basically the next step is I'm just gonna plug in my USB thumb drive, and the auto install is gonna kick off. And then once the auto install takes place, then there is an IPsec tunnel. The IPsec tunnel actually allowed me to initiate the connection from my home lab SRX back to the Juniper Cloud Lab, and all the configuration and the policy is going to be kicked off through the script. The script is listening for the IPsec to be established. So once the IPsec is established and the script verifies the connectivity, there is no issues, then it's going to kick off the configuration, and it's going to push the rules. It's going to push everything needed for the security intelligence policy to take place. All right, let's look at that. I just plugged in my USB thumb drive, and then as you can see here, the USB was detected by Juniper firewall, and just reloading. We're just waiting for that configuration to load. As you can see here, the SRX is rebooting. It's actually verifying the code. It's taking the configuration into the memory, and it's matter of time till it comes back. So once it comes back, we're going to check the IPsec tunnel, see if it's up. We're just going to keep a couple of minutes till all the policies propagated from security director. The Spotlight connector will actually talk to the security director. We talk to the cloud, which is the info source, to get the feed. Once that feed is being propagated to the Spotlight secure connector, the SRX in a time interval will reach out to the SRX, to the security director, the Spotlight secure connector, and actually request that feed. basically now the rebooting took place and the firewall comes back online. So we're gonna check the IPsec tunnel, make sure the IPsec tunnel has been established. In order to do that, you do show security IPsec security association. Hit on enter. You see how we go. Our tunnel has been up. That tunnel has been established to the JCL cloud where the space and the connector reside and live. So now what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna jump to space. There we go. I just logged into space. So I show you how I logged into space. If I'm back to JCL here, and I'll just point out my mouse where the space is, and just scroll down where the arrow is, and just do Juno Space Web GUI. I logged onto space. Let's go to space. I logged into space. So if you look at my network management platform, and I look at my devices, and I see my device, which is the SRX240H2 power over Ethernet. It's been synchronized with space. And again, to reiterate that this SRX240H2 is in my home lab, and is being talking and synchronized with the JCL, where the security director is. And if I scroll down, I look at my jobs here. I see that a couple of jobs were successful. One of them is which is done by the Python script, which is again initiated from CentOS as soon as it hears that IPsec tunnel is up. And so the security association is being established. The device is added to the security director. The device is added to the security connector, Spotlight connector, and the policy is applied accordingly. All the corresponding policy are pushed, and this is done by the Python script. So if I look at the security director here, and I look at my firewall policy, and I see my policy has been pushed, and this all automated. And if you look at the Spotlight Secure Connector, my device is being associated with the Security Intelligence Spotlight Secure Connector. And so let's go back to the firewall and see if we are getting feeds from the Spotlight Secure Connector in the cloud. Okay, here is my firewall. So if I do show security dynamic address category name, which is the command and control, I hit on enter, and here we go. So we see all the bad addresses are on the firewall, and all these bad addresses are very well known command and control servers out there on the internet. The firewall blocked them. It's all automated. There is not commit needed. Any new addresses will be propagated and installed into the forwarding plane in the SRXs. The SRX will periodically reach out to the secure connector for any updates. As you can tell here, there is a lot of addresses. Also in my policy, I created a GeoIP. GeoIP is actually a feature that allows you to block any traffic from a specific country. So you can actually select, I want to block this traffic coming from Iran. I want to block this traffic coming or going out to any country that I don't want to do business with. So in the policy, just for the demo purpose, I blocked all the traffic that's going to China or coming to China. So if I do show security dynamic address category names, I do show IP, hit on enter, and here we go. So those all addresses are being blocked. If I would like to see my services, so service security intelligence question mark, and I can do static, for instance, and it shows me what traffic. There is no session, it's being blocked because we raise the level to the high level, so we don't want any traffic going in or outbound to those particular addresses. If I do show security intelligence services and I do category and I do summary, so basically it's telling me the command and control statistic here. It tells me the summary. See, there is a 194,749 object. That's huge. I can tell that the object numbers are 35,472, and the list goes on.